can.
We can do it. I believe in us.
Yes. We're
So,
so high off 86 fever.
oh yeah, oh my gosh, guys. So, this weekend timing was terrible because this was the 86 finale weekend, like a very long anticipated
And
86 finale. This thing was delayed by what, 3 months, 2.5 months?
yeah, yeah, very long time.
So it was really delayed, and we were just hyped up on that, and it was really hard to get hyped up on TBHK at the same time. I couldn't believe that the chapter release coincided with this. What were the odds that this was going to happen at the
Yeah,
same time? It
honestly.
was just not fair. But yeah, so a lot of energy has just been leaking out of
And
me.
not to mention, I went on I was like on a like 3 hour car ride yesterday,
Oh
so I'm
yeah,
absolutely winded
yeah, that
with
was
that and 86.
rough
I
time
went
on
to
that one.
a theme park, so I'm just so tired.
Yeah. On top of that, at my place, there's COVID running rampant in my house right now, so that's also happening.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's been a wild ride trying to get things sorted for this particular podcast, which is why we're without one of our hosts at the moment. But
Even though she chose the time.
she chose the time. This is the funny part, right? Caffi is the one who picked what time we were going to do this, and so yeah, her not being here is pretty ironic. But anyways,
Yeah.
that puts us about 5 minutes in. Okay, well, that's how
Yeah,
that's
I
going to
guess we're
work.
starting.
We're going
Yeah,
to
sure.
start just the two of us, and Ness and I will try and pick up the slack on that one. So everybody move over to general discussion for chatting. We know how this works at this point. I am Otaku Imi,
I'm Ness.
and we do this every month. We're going to chat about the chapter for the first little while. Once we get to the end of our discussion, we'll do a Q&A. You guys can type out your questions. Usually you can raise your hand and talk. Ness, do you think you can handle doing that? Can you? Are you?
I've never brought people up before, so I don't know how to do it.
I don't know if people will be able to talk, so let's try and keep this in general discussion because Cavvy's usually
Yeah,
the one
yeah.
who handles that, and yeah, we don't
Mhm.
know how to do that. So, this is
You
being
might figure
recorded.
it
It
out
will
enough.
be posted on YouTube, so please be aware of that. And with that, I think we can just jump into this new chapter. So,
Boy.
before we even jump into the chapter itself, the opening page is Hanako with yellow tulips, and the moment this picture came out, I was inundated with messages being like, "Hey, flower girl, what do these mean?" And I'm like, God damn it.
I was really tempted to like message you that myself, like, hey.
The answer
So,
the answer is hopeless love. Yellow tulips are a
mhm,
representation, usually unrequited as well, but I think the symbolism here is more hopeless love rather than unrequited. So
yeah.
that's depressing. You're welcome. I'm sure you all wanted to know that. And let's just. And then the very next picture is the two Minamoto boys. Let's just punch everyone in the guts by giving them this warm and happy picture directly after they almost killed Teru. Who is
Oh, hey, Ko is holding a flower.
be quiet. I don't want to think about it. We'll worry about flowers later. They come back again, so we'll
Yeah,
circle
yeah, of
around
course
to
I
it.
do.
So here's a lovely image of the two brothers, and right after that, let's return to the mostly dead Teru. I'm still not convinced that he's actually dead,
Yeah, me too.
but he's definitely unconscious, whatever's going on here.
Hmm.
So, two different translations, as per usual. We have the Ropes of Fate, which is, they go pretty soft on the country accent with Ropes of Fate, but drunk basalt scans, they go really hard on it.
Yeah, you're one of those Minamoto fellers.
That's the drunk basalt scan.
Yes, that's the TBS
Yeah,
one.
the ropes of fate. They're just saying you're the Minamoto exorcist. Like they still use y'all It's still
Yeah.
definitely an accent there, but they're not nearly as intense with it as Drunk Bath Salts. I don't know which one I like more, to be honest.
Yeah, honestly, same.
It's really funny, but also it does make it a little bit hard to take it seriously now that we've had the like 20-minute long discussion about it. So
We never had that discussion. It would be easier, honestly.
it's just because we talked about it with Caffi being so I don't know, taken aback by it. It was just
We
really
love
funny.
Southern number six.
We
Yeah,
do.
I'm
We
glad she's
love
not here to
Southern
yell
Number
about
Six.
it.
I will admit, I'm definitely going to
Yeah.
read both at the very least and enjoy it from both angles there because it's too
Yes.
funny. It's too funny. I can't. But anyways, moving on. He's calling them weak, which is fair because he just one-shot KO'd Teru.
Yeah.
And yeah, he's completely out. He's not even awake anymore. Ko is having a crisis, obviously, and he attacks number 6, which Akane immediately tells him is a terrible idea. Like, wait, stop! No! Ko's just mad, obviously. He's not going to listen to that. And he gets gutted so hard by
Yeah,
number
Jesus.
6. Oh my gosh.
That panel.
When I first saw that panel, I thought that people were going to think that he'd actually like impaled Ko because of the way they drew it.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
not impaled, but I do think all his ribs were broken. Like
Yeah. His
in
body is.
in the very next panel, it's actually like crack, crack. Like he broke ribs in that moment, definitely for sure. So Ko is out immediately, and Akane is ready with his watch to stop time and do something. I don't know. It did work once before, right at the start of the school. Well, technically the Sumire arc. You remember that, Ness? Like
Yes,
way,
I do.
way back,
Yeah,
for
way,
like
way back.
one hot minute, Akane
Back
was
when Ali
beating up
first
number
got
6.
kidnapped.
Like
Yeah.
there was a moment where that was happening, so it's
Yeah,
possible
he
for him to
kicked him
do
to the
that.
floor.
And
Yeah.
number 6 obviously remembers this too because the first thing he does is get one of his bug minions. He has bug minions. He gets one of his bug minions to steal the watch so he can't stop time. There was some question about how much time he even has left in terms of what he can stop because he used that power to catch up with Aoi. Obviously, he didn't spend too long hanging out with Aoi because he still has some minutes left on his watch. But anyways, Akane gets taken out. We don't even see this happen. They don't show us get Akane getting beaten up. They just imply that he got knocked out. I
Mhm.
almost feel bad for him.
Yeah.
But you get this fantastic panel of Teru getting KO'd, and then another really amazing moment of Ko getting KO'd, and then Akane's just like fade to black.
Off screen, yeah.
You got off screen KO'd. I'm sorry, man. That sucks for you. Ugh. So he nabs Aoi again. I don't know. I almost was taken aback. I didn't think he was going to nab her again. But it makes
Yeah.
sense. I don't know why I thought that he wouldn't.
Yeah, honestly, I get that. I don't know why though.
You know what it was, right? In the last chapter, Aoi was just like in the background, like a
Oh
prop.
yeah. She didn't do anything last chapter, I forgot.
She was just in the background. She was not doing anything. So I don't know. I guess I just thought that's what she would keep doing, being in the background.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. But no, he sees her and is like, okay, come with me. We're going to the far shore. And something that number 6 does note is that the boundaries collapse is still on hold, which means that the 3 guys are not responsible for that. That makes me think that Hanako might be responsible for that. You think
Yeah. I think
like
that's what we all thought.
we've been
Yeah.
missing a Hakujodai for a little while now, and
Yeah.
as soon as he said it wasn't these 3, I thought, okay, maybe the Hakujodai is off holding back the boundary collapse. Maybe that's where it is. Maybe that's what it's doing, because obviously Hanako can't let the boundary collapse while Nene is there. Yeah, we're missing a Hakujodai. We've been missing a Hakujodai
Mhm.
ever since Nene saved Hanako. So that's still going on. All right, and moving along. I'm just reading these. So Aoi has done a 180, which is nice. Clearly, she is not still under the brainwashing influence of number 6 in the least. She uses her Minamoto charm to get him to let go of her initially, which is interesting. I didn't think it would still work. I don't know if that's implying that Teru is still alive, if Teru has to be alive for his charm to still work, or if that will
I,
work either
I
way.
guess we don't know that. Yeah.
But I choose to believe that it means that Teru is still alive because that is his charm, that's his power that she's using. I don't. I have no proof
I,
for this. There's no way I could
I hope he's
prove that
alive.
in any way, but it is.
It's hope. It's hopeful.
It's hope. I'm
Wishful
just
thinking.
going to hope.
Hopium. That's what it is.
So Aoi's horrified. She's saying, "Why would you do such a terrible thing? I won't forgive you." Um, I always found this to be a funny line in any kind of manga or anime that I'm reading. I won't forgive you. I'd say 9 times out of 10, it's coming from someone where that would have absolutely no impact. Like,
Yeah.
why in the world would number 6 care if Aoi forgave him or not? Can you imagine if he just stopped it like, oh well.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
well that sucks. Like,
I really care about your opinion about me, so
I am bothered by the fact that you wouldn't forgive me. I guess I better stop now. Like, what do they expect to happen when they say that? I don't know. It's such a weird
I
line.
guess it's kind of a just a cliche or like a what's the word for it? Um, I forget what the
A
word for it
trope?
is.
I don't know.
So yes, like kind of that's what I'm looking for.
I don't know.
That's more accurate. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it comes up so often, and at this point, I just laugh a little. But it is actually in character for Aoi because her entire life it's been people hanging on to her every word. So, I mean, like if she said that to anyone at the school, they would fall over themselves trying to correct whatever they did wrong. So I understand why she would use that line, thinking that it might actually do something, but at the same time, obviously, he doesn't care. The thing
Yeah.
number 6 is focused on is the why question. I don't think drunk basalt scans actually used why, which is weird when they
Oh
were.
yeah, that's weird. How could you do something so horrible? I'll never forgive this. He didn't say why.
Yeah, which is weird because later on he
He
does.
quotes
He
why.
quotes
Yeah.
why as though she did say
I
it.
mean, he does also quote "How could you?" But
I don't know.
he also quotes "Why."
In this case, I think Ropes of Fate is a bit better in the translations because they do use why and then he brings it back up, so it's just more coherent.
Yeah, but I guess in Ropes of Fate, she didn't use the word "how," and then he quotes the word "how." So either way, it's messed up.
Yeah, well,
Just in general.
it's a tie-in. It just leads to his point. And this is when
Either
we
way.
get a number 6 flashback. And I didn't bring this up before we started going into the chapter, but when it comes to predictions for this chapter, after we finish the last one, there was exactly one person who put down that maybe we would get some world building for number 6. Points to
Mhm.
Larathea for guessing correctly.
Yeah.
She's the only one that did. The rest of us were just kind of assuming. I wasn't expecting a flashback, and I don't know why. Again, what is it about number 6? I just don't expect them to talk about number 6 ever, even though he
I
just.
don't know. He just exudes
It
this
made
mysterious
sense for
aura.
him
And
to
it's like,
come
I don't
back. I
know.
didn't expect him to come back. It makes sense for them to
Yeah.
elaborate on his backstory. I wasn't expecting them to elaborate. I don't know what's going on with number 6 here. Like,
Yeah, like I just never expect them to focus on him, and then they do, and it's like, huh.
so yeah, there's an entire flashback sequence from here on. It's not even one flashback sequence. This is part 1 of 2 of a
I'm
flashback
glad we
sequence.
I'm glad we're getting it though. I desperately wanted more like number 6 stuff and like past
I
stuff
did. It
and
was
flashbacks
really
and
interesting to see this play out, even
Mhm.
though it made me profoundly uncomfortable, but we'll get into that a little bit later.
Oh boy.
So we start, and the first thing we see is a pile of dead demons. That's how we open this flashback. The only one left alive is number 6 as an adorable child. Look at him, he's so cute.
He is cute.
Oh my
He's
gosh,
really
he's
cute.
got the tiny little horns. Oh, it's
Yeah.
adorable. And anyways, the OG Minamoto guy, who's got what looks like Teru's sword, anyways, comes up to him and asks him why he isn't running, which is fair. I mean, all his demon friends just got slaughtered, and he's like, yeah, okay. Um, oh, my throat just died for a second there.
Yeah, okay.
So clearly the Minamoto and his people are there to murder all the demons, and very specifically he says, I poisoned the water and alcohol so they won't move, which means he incapacitated them, came in and slaughtered their paralyzed bodies. This is what the Minamoto clan did, which is horrifying.
That is.
But at the same time, I do kind of get it because you see in a panel just like on the next page that even though the demons are clearly happy and frolicking together, there's at least 2 humans that are being murdered in that panel as well. And
Yeah,
I had
it
to
looks like
look
they have human skulls sprung up
I had to
too.
look twice to like realize what was going on there. But yeah, they are definitely boiling a human alive who's like sitting there in the cauldron with a peace sign. Do you see the peace sign?
Yeah, I do. That's funny.
Just peace out. I'm done, I guess. And then the other guy who's actually terrified that the demons have caught by the hair. So yeah, they're hunting humans, they're eating humans. I understand why the Minamoto and his clan are like
Oh,
being ruthless and hunting them down. But
oh, I just noticed that like baby number 6 has a human head that he's eating off of.
oh my gosh, I hadn't seen that. Oh, oh. Okay, so yeah, demons are scary.
Yes.
Y'all Minamoto fellow sure are weak, can't even poison alcohol anymore. You know what? I'm pretty sure Teru could if he wanted to. It would just be a matter of getting the supernaturals to drink the poisoned alcohol. That's the real problem.
Mhm.
So, Minamoto goes on, thinking, yeah, I'm going to kill you too, whether you run away or come at me. You must loathe me. And number 6 just gives him this blank stare, like, no, I wasn't told to do so. So, like, number 6 is a weird one. For a demon, he is an odd one because he doesn't actually have an urge to hunt, an urge to harm humans. He doesn't want anything at all. Like, this is a character that has
Peaceful.
no
Yeah.
personal desires whatsoever. He just does what he's told. And I think this is the point where I start getting deeply uncomfortable because I think this is, I don't want to call it a pet peeve, a trigger. It's like a trigger of mine. It
Yeah.
just kind of like freaks me out to think of a character that has literally no autonomy, that just doesn't think for themselves at all and follows instructions blindly. It freaks me
It
out.
is, yeah, it is kind of like a worrying thought, I guess.
And it also freaks me out a little that the Minamoto guy is just so ready to use that. Like,
Yeah, take
oh,
advantage of it.
oh, you're an odd one who doesn't want to destroy humans. Okay, be my familiar instead. You seem like a good, useful tool. And a lot of
And he
people,
just looks so nice while he does it.
he does. A lot of people were talking about this OG Minamoto, and saying that, oh, he's fantastic. He's so sweet. He's exactly like Ko. I guess Teru didn't inherit his terrible personality from him.
I
And I'm like,
like
what are you talking
no.
about? Are you reading
What?
the same chapter that I'm reading?
I didn't even see that. Oh my
Like,
gosh. What?
this guy is very Teru. Like,
Yeah, just like Teru.
there is Ko in there, but he very, very clearly has no guilt whatsoever about not only murdering clans of demons, but also just generalizing them. Like, he looked at number 6, saw that he was not a murderous monster, and was like, oh, you must be defective. This is a person that
Yeah.
genuinely, truly believes that all supernaturals are murderous monsters. Like, that is
Yep.
And he lives in a time where that's probably a fairer assessment, because
Yeah.
apparently demons do hunt humans, so it's a bit more understandable. But I'm just like disturbed by the fact that this guy was so ready to take this kid and use him as a tool, not just as like an errand boy, but as we move on and see the different things that the Minamoto's got him to do over time. Like, he had this demon kid hunting his own kind, like murdering other people and working for them. And that just gets me. It's
Yeah, that's
something
ooh.
really weird about that. I don't know, it just bothers me. So yeah,
Uh,
I think
I don't
Teru
know.
is more
I guess it
Minamoto
feels
than
like
Ko is when it comes
I'm
down to
like
it.
looking at it, and it just feels like a kind of grooming situation to me.
Yeah, yeah,
Because like
that's what it is. Oh,
yeah,
that's the word I was. It feels like he's grooming this kid, and it bothers me. So yeah,
yeah, like the panel where he's giving him like a fist bump and yeah, this is
and then he does it again when he's
ooh.
an old guy. Oh my gosh, no, I'm just bothered. I'm bothered, guys. This
Ooh.
bothers me. So that's my take on the OG Minamoto. Not that he seems like a bad guy. He does seem like a decent person. I am just very more Teru than Ko, if I had
Yeah,
to say one or
for
the
sure.
other. And yeah, apparently they keep going, and you can actually see through the instructions that they're given down the line that things just seem to be getting more and more corrupt as things goes on. Because like originally they were just going after supernaturals and whatnot, but if you follow it, one of the things he's told to do is eliminate the night burglars, which implies that they're human. And then the very last thing is kill everyone in that house, which is definitely really iffy. Like, we have no context for
Yeah.
that. He could have just been going into any person's house and telling them to murder everyone there. And because number 6 has no autonomy, he's just going with that. Okay, 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 I'll do it. Like, he doesn't care. It's just he's been told to do it, so he's going to do it. Like, he's not even
Hmm.
phased by the fact that the people are freaked out and his masters are literally considering disposing of him. Like, they want to. They're in the background and they're like, we should get rid
Yeah,
of him
he just
before
has that
anything
blank
happens.
expression
He's
on his
hearing
face.
that. He doesn't even care.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, okay.
It's like, okay. If that's what you want.
Yeah. So we move on to the Kanagi situation where, he's a little bit older now. He's in charge of the Kanagis and making sure they don't escape. And this is a terrifying panel. So I had to look twice at this panel. You have a Kanagi hunched over, sobbing, a person that is bound and blindfolded and bloody. I have no idea what the situation is. She's clearly in some sort of dungeon, so I don't know what her connection is to this guy, but clearly he has been tortured, and I am scared. And more than that, number 6 has broken this girl's legs so that she can't run away. That's the
Yeah.
implication when you see what's going on with her legs there. And you can see the blood on his arm too. Like, that's what
Yeah, and
happened.
they say it later too, like if she runs, try to break her leg, and if she still doesn't listen, then blind her eyes.
Yeah.
So that he did break her legs first.
Yeah, so he broke her legs first, and she was still crying about it. Fair, like she's terrified. She doesn't want to be a sacrifice. That's
Hmm.
interesting. I kind of assumed that most of the sacrifices were more like Sumire, right? Like Sumire was
Yeah, like her
very,
room to be sacrificed.
yeah, very willing. Like, she wasn't uncomfortable with the situation. She just didn't know any differently, right? And I
Yeah.
know when we were in that pit with Nene a while ago, we did see the different sacrifices lamenting their fate. But at the time, I just assumed that that was like something that happened after, right? Not something that not something that they felt while they were still alive. I assume they all just went with it like Samiri did. But no,
That's
Samiri was a unique case, specifically
mhm.
because the ones that came before her were defiant. So Samiri
Mhm.
apparently was the first time where they took someone really young and raised her to be a sacrifice, grooming her to be okay with it.
Yeah.
So that's where that chapter went. Yes, he's being horrifying. He poked out the girl's eyes. My own eye twitched in sympathy. That just terrified me.
Yeah, I hate eye stuff. Ugh, I don't like that.
Oh yeah, it's the eye thing. So apparently Sumire
Yeah,
was 6. We did just cover this. She was exactly 6 years old when the Akanes handed her over to be a sacrifice. This tells us two things. One, I already covered it, that they're making a point of grooming young. Two, that they probably don't have any older options. So
yep.
we're talking even at this time, they are running out of people to sacrifice. Like they had to dig into the kids to find someone to work for this one. So scary that that's going on. And
Oh,
number
yeah.
6 again doesn't mind at all that he's being told to potentially harm this child if he has to. But Sumire is not defiant. No, Sumire shows up and is like, you must be Sumire's husband. I actually read this in the Japanese. Like, it was a line that I could read, and I burst out
Yeah,
laughing because that is such a Sumire thing to say. And his
it
immediate
is.
response is just, huh?
Huh?
What? I do wonder if they actually told Sumire that she was going to marry this guy, or if she just made the assumption herself, because like it isn't stated one way or the other if she was told she was going to be marrying him, or if she just assumed that she was going to be marrying him.
Oh,
I think
I
it's
see the flowers you're talking about.
let's not talk about those flowers. I don't want to talk.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
um,
just
those are
chose them.
Sakura's. I'm pretty sure in this
Yeah.
last panel with Sumire, those are Sakura's in the corner. That's a really common flower that they use to denote characters with short lifespans. So with Sumire, it makes sense, and it was also
Makes sense.
used
Yeah.
pretty frequently with the original Mitsuba back when we were in that arc. It was used a few times.
Hmm.
So
Yep.
that's what that's about. I think that's what those flowers are. Sakuras are a bit hard to identify, but it definitely looks like
Oh
it's on
yeah.
a branch.
The sacrifices were for keeping supernaturals away. Someone in chat just said they're wondering what the sacrifices are so necessary for.
Yeah, so originally it was to keep them away. It kind of seemed to evolve over time that it was like a wish granting thing, which is how we ended up with the Red House eventually, and the supernatural that is basically Tsukasa and grants wishes.
But yeah, because the sacrifice that happened in the present time with Aoi also made the supernaturals disappear.
Yeah, so that's
So
what
that yeah,
that's
that
what the
was the main thing.
ceremony was for specifically,
Hmm.
making supernaturals, and it wasn't permanent, obviously, because they kept
Yeah,
doing it again and again and
kept going
again.
back. Yep.
And obviously, it didn't cause the severance every single time in the past because number 6 was consistently still around whenever
Yeah.
this happened. So
Hmm.
I don't know what changed. Something changed because
Something must have changed.
something had to have changed.
Something did something different or something.
Yeah.
I don't know yet.
So we don't know. And that is the end of the chapter with number 6 and Sumire meeting for the first time. I was
Hmm.
surprised that this is where they ended it for two reasons. One, it means that we're getting a part 2 to this flashback. Two, it
Yep.
confirms that Sumire actually is important to number 6. And I did,
Yeah.
I honestly wondered. Like, I know she's his Yorishiro, but number
So
6
she
just,
had to be,
he's so
but
ambivalent. Like,
yeah.
I really didn't think he was all that attached to Sumire, and even if he was, I didn't think she was such a powerful force in his life that like we would have a flashback about
Yeah,
it.
there were definitely some hints about it when he was interacting with Aoi because of how similar Aoi is to Sumire,
It's
like
like
looks wise.
you see in Sumire's flashbacks that he was just like blank faced watching as she got sacrificed. Right? So, yeah,
Yeah.
like does he actually love her? I didn't think so. I thought she was important by default because he had literally nothing else. I thought that's how she ended up as his
I honestly
Yorishiro.
did think he did for to an extent at least.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm kind of surprised. The other thing this ending is hinting to me is that we're gonna see Sumire come back soon. And I know a lot of
Yeah,
people
pretty much.
have been like throwing around ideas about who's gonna come back in this arc. I think basically every supernatural name has been thrown around
Yeah,
as people
yeah,
theorize. They think May's gonna come back. They think Shijuma's gonna come back, and yes, both. I've seen both.
yes.
And they think Tsukasa, Sakura, Natsu, like everyone is theorizing about everyone coming back, and I don't know why. But out of everyone, even throwing aside the possibility that Tsukasa's gonna be coming back for this particular arc, I do think Sumire is going to be showing up now.
Yeah,
Now that we're specifically at that flashback, if we're covering his relationship with Sumire, I'm assuming the implication there is that Sumire is the only one who's going to be able to talk number 6 down.
yeah.
So she
That's
has to come back,
excited.
right?
Excited if that's where they're going with this. I've always been pretty interested in their relationship because uh it's just it is a really interesting relationship that they have, like with the flashbacks that they had and everything.
It's like, it's
And I
not
really want
healthy,
to know more about it.
obviously,
Yeah, no,
but
it's not
nothing about
healthy.
Sumire's
It's
life was
TBHK, of
healthy,
course it's
so
not healthy. It's not healthy. It's TBHK.
yeah. Like,
Nothing about this is healthy.
I don't even care. Like, if they do it well, and I usually do trust AidaIro to do these sorts of things well, by the end of this arc, I'm going to be shipping those two. Like, this is
Probably, yeah.
just how that's going
Oh,
to
but
shape
oh,
up.
if you think Hanane's age like difference was like controversial. Oh my god.
Such a dumb thing to
Oh
get worked
no.
up over, though. Like,
Right?
why? I don't understand.
Yeah, it's just supernaturals are different. They don't work like humans,
It's
so
like, we don't
ugh,
have a comparative relationship in real life to be able to judge them
you can't
based on
compare
that.
it. You can't. It's just yeah, there's an age gap, but like we don't know how big that age gap is because supernaturals age differently,
Yeah, it
or some
just
don't age at all.
it is what it is. Let them get away with it. We're not gonna worry about it too
Thank
much.
goodness. Yeah, I
So,
just know it's gonna bother the hell out of me.
so we have reached the end of the chapter, which means we're going to open for Q&A sections now. So everyone, if you have any questions at all, just throw them in the chat. We're going to try and catch it as it comes up. We'll give you a minute to type stuff out. I would say lift your hand, but I honestly don't think I'm capable of figuring that out.
Try, and maybe we could figure it out.
Oh, I forgot the key! You're
We
right!
don't
I
need to talk
can't
about the
not
key.
talk about the key!
Okay, talk about the key. What new do we know about the key? Nothing. We're at the same spot we were last month, and the month before, and the month before that.
And the month before that, and the month
It's
before
such
that, it has not come back at all. And at this point, we're
it's
even
not.
further away from it being relevant because we're not even with Hanako and Nene right now. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
this is number 6's moment. One day, Eleanor, this is going to happen eventually. The key will return
They have,
in all
yeah,
its shiny glory. It will.
it will.
But at this point, I am seeing this happening way, way down the line. This is
Yeah,
going to
not in
be.
this arc.
This is next year Emmy's problem.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just
It's
future
just future
Hanako's car
Hanako's
keys.
car
I
keys.
love that. Can you imagine it actually being a car key? I mean, it doesn't look anything like a car key, but that would be really
Yeah,
funny.
no, it would.
Oh my gosh, I think I've said that word a lot. I'm gonna be doing a lot of editing on this one.
Oh, no, 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 no. We need to stop talking about the
Okay.
gay word.
Moving on, anyways. There's a scene in the study camp arc when before number 6 takes Aoi, Aoi can see Akane in his supernatural form. Could this mean that Aoi has a short lifespan too? So, Peachy, my theory on that one was that the moment that number 6 laid eyes on Aoi, that was the moment where he chose to sacrifice her, and that was the moment when her lifespan became short. So it was only after number 6 marked her essentially as a sacrifice and chose to grab her instead of Nene. That's when she was able to start seeing supernaturals. And that was the moment when you really knew that she was the one that was going to be sacrificed. Like, even from that far back, they were hinting at it. But yeah,
It
that's
is
that's my theory
interesting.
on that one.
It is interesting to think about though, because that means we've definitively gotten like another person who's had their future changed. like very specifically.
You're right. That,
And yeah,
like, as far as we knew, only Hanako, only Amane was someone whose future had been changed, but
uh, her future has to have been changed because she couldn't see supernaturals before that. So it had to have been changed from what it was originally supposed to be.
May saying, why would he try and grab Nene if she's not Nakane? Well, Nene is a Kannagi. Like,
Hmm.
so she has been ever since she swallowed
Yeah.
that mermaid scale and
I don't think you
became.
need to be an Akane to be a Kanagi. They just kind of use that family
Yeah, so
as yeah.
I think I think he swapped specifically out of habit. I think he saw an Akane and was like, "Oh, that's the one I'm supposed
Oh.
to be using."
Yeah.
Great. I don't need to
That was
use the
familiar to
spare.
me. Despair.
I think he just felt that the Akane bloodline would have a greater effect, and that's why he switched over. But he definitely could have used Nene because they're both Kannagis
Oh,
essentially. And
oh, they, they very specifically point out the fact that like Aoi shouldn't be able to see Akane, in the one part we were talking about. So no, she was not supposed to be able to see him, but then she did.
yeah, and like in the past, she couldn't see him.
Hmm.
There have been situations. I think in the Clock Keeper's arc, there was a situation where she might have been able to see him, but
Yeah, but no, they literally pointed out that she shouldn't be able to see him. Like they like verbally stated it. Let me see if I can find the chapter.
Eleanor saying someone else discussing the possibility of Hanako killing Nene. Thoughts? I don't think he will.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, I did see that discussion going down for a little while. I
Same.
didn't get too into it. No matter what happens, I really don't think Hanako's going to end up doing that. Like, I, c-
Yes. Okay.
I could see a theoretical situation where Nene chooses to give up her own life, but I cannot imagine a theoretical situation where Hanako makes that decision.
Here's the page where they point out that she's not supposed to be able to see him.
Yeah, so that was a shock moment, and that was our first indication that Aoi was going to die. And they
Yes.
kept hinting at it for like chapters and chapters. It was not subtle. Like they were basically
Hmm.
throwing it, especially for those of us who understand flower symbolism. It was just like in your face.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
hey, this person's gonna be dead. We're holding a funeral preemptively for this person. Like, yeah, that Ida knew what they were doing.
Oh, yeah.
Some chapters ago, when we saw that Tara wanted to bring Aoi back, was
Yeah, I
wondering
mean,
why, because didn't think he was in love with her. Yeah, why was Teru interested in her? We don't know why Teru is interested in Aoi.
mhm.
We just know that he is. I think Caffi's running theory really is that he's got a huge crush on her. I'm not 100% on board with that.
That would be some great drama.
I'm not dismissing the possibility, like he might have a thing for Aoi, but I think his plans are something else, and we just have no idea what that is. But he's got some sort of grand scheme in the works, and it may not matter at all because Teru be dying right now. Still not
Also,
dead. He's
yeah,
not dead. Not
May that
yet.
does mean that at that point, Aoi's future did change to where she was going to die.
Yeah.
At that point.
Yeah.
At that point, her future was changed to that.
So yeah, that officially makes two people who have had their future changed. Apparently not
Yep.
as hard as Suchi made it out to be.
Yeah. Like, right? It's
It
kind
was
of weird
like
to think about.
it's like I only know one person where well, apparently there's two, unless it was written in Aoi's book that this would happen. But I'm going to assume not, specifically because she
Yeah,
couldn't see
because
supernaturals before
she couldn't
that.
see. Yeah. Hmm.
And Nene's still alive, although there's no indication that that's going to last any length of time.
Yeah, it's true. So we don't know about her future.
Yeah, so
Still kind of up in there, and she can see supernaturals. So
I mean, it should be interesting. I'm waiting for Aoi and Nene to get back into the same panel and have a conversation with each other.
wait, yeah, that is a thing, huh? Both Aoi and Nene can see supernaturals right now.
Yeah, and I mean Aoi's entire entire world has been flipped upside down. She doesn't know
Yeah.
right now that her lifespan was essentially swapped for Nene's, but can you imagine her finding that out and then those two girls ending up in a room together and just having a conversation?
Oh yeah, they need to talk. I
like
want them to talk so bad.
I do want them to talk. Like I'm not too on board with that particular ship, but I really like their friendship.
I like their friendship. Yeah,
I
I
think
think
they're
their friendship is
really,
great.
really good together. Even though most of their relationship has been before Aoi got her character development.
Yeah, most of their relationship was them lying to each other. So
That's the thing. Their
yeah.
relationship was founded on them lying to each other. But
Hmm.
Nene is the kind of person who would be totally okay with that. After all, she kissed Hanako. Like,
Yeah.
so Nene wouldn't be caught up on that, and I don't know how Aoi would feel about that. So, Dr. Phil episode. Please welcome these two friends to the show. Yes, this is a Dr.
Oh
Phil
wow.
episode,
How dare you
definitely.
say I'm anti-LGBTQ when I was one of the people who was like on the Terukane train like all the way.
Yo, it's not the worst ship in this fandom by
It
far.
really isn't.
I'm okay with this one. If they
I
want to
still
ship
love
this
the
one, they can go for
Terukane,
it.
right?
Let's keep up the Terracotta ship. You know what? Forget
Yes,
the
yes.
straight ships in TBHK. Let's just go full gay for all of it.
Okay. Yes.
We don't need anything. Who are we gonna ship May with? May and Shijima? No, that's weird.
But yeah, that's weird.
May with Sakura? I don't know.
Yeah, sure. You know what? Yeah. I do kind of like Nene. I'm gonna be real. That ship is kind of cute.
May and Nene. Yeah, that one's okay.
Yeah.
Does Nene have a harem
With
now?
ankles.
We're gonna give Nene a gay harem. That'll work.
Give Nene a gay harem. I'm sure Hanukkah would love that.
He probably would too. He'd be happy with
Yeah.
that. In that case, who has the gay harem? Like, who's the protagonist for the guy side of things?
Me
Akane? But we have to give it to Akane
Akane. Yeah, Akane would be really funny.
because, like, if we
Considering
made
how
it one of the
dedicated he is to
Minamotos,
Aoi.
like, you can't ship the Minamoto boys together because that would be weird. But you
True.
can
Yeah,
ship them
exactly.
both with a different character. So
Yeah,
Akane
so Akane.
has to be the
Yeah,
protagonist of the male gay harem.
and it would be very funny because of his devotion to a girl.
That would be hilarious. I would love that. This is a great fan fiction idea. Oh my gosh, someone get
It
on
is.
this. We need
Yeah,
this
yeah.
fan fiction scenario. We'll call it the harem AU.
I'm such a multi-shipper with this manga. There's just so many ships that I'm like, yep, I ship that.
Absolutely. There's absolutely no
So
complaints
easy.
when it comes down to it.
Yeah,
Oh, it is what it is.
character's just so shippable.
They
I
are.
don't know.
Well, the relationships are just well done, right? When it comes down to
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
if you have
yeah.
well written relationships, then it's shippable, even if it's not intended to be romantic. That's
Yeah, because I'm not like this with other like pieces of media.
It's the
Usually I'm like, I have this
foundation
one
of
ship
shonen, basically.
and
It's This is
it's
how
my
gay
ship
ships and
and I don't
shonen
like anything
happen.
else. Yeah. Because usually the relationship between like the two main male characters is like more developed and better written than like the male character and his love interest.
Pretty
It's
much.
just really funny.
Yeah. And then in TBHK, they were just like, but what if we make good relationships between all the characters?
For everyone, yeah.
And by good, I mean well written, not healthy.
Yeah, yeah. Well written. Interesting is not the same as healthy.
It's very different. I think I was watching a video that got down to it. Fiction does not have to portray healthy relationships or solid ones. They don't have to tackle any serious issues. They don't need conflicts to be properly resolved. All they need to be is interesting. Like
Yeah, just
that's
interesting.
all that
Just
matters is
need
that
to
it's
be
interesting.
just need to enjoy consuming it.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Because it's fiction, and that's the whole
Yeah,
point of
yeah.
fiction.
The
And
beautiful thing of fiction.
yes, there's issues with portraying toxic things in a positive light, like
Yeah.
the Twilight way
Oh
of
yeah.
things. Yeah, there's issues with doing that, but as long as people have that understanding that it's fiction and this is unhealthy, and that's okay.
Yeah, I think as long as
It's
people
still
understand that
okay
it
to
is, in fact,
enjoy it.
unhealthy, then yeah, it's fine.
And that's like
if
the
you think it's, like,
foundation of this
positive
fandom.
thing.
If we weren't
Yeah.
okay with consuming unhealthy relationships, then none of us would be here.
It's really weird because of how many fandom police there are in this fandom that like to police unhealthy relationships.
Is it
It's
bad?
so ironic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is really bad. It is.
I
And like
mean,
ship Tsukasa with anyone and you will get death threats.
that's true. Yeah, you're right about that. That's
Yeah.
too bad. I
As
think
a Tsunade
Tsukasa
shipper,
ships are
I know
fun.
this. They're so fun.
Like, it's
Oh, they're
just
so
fun. I
hilarious.
write fan fiction and that's fun. Tsukasa X anyone can be really interesting as
I
a
ship
concept.
Tsukasa with like 3 characters. So like, yeah.
Though I think at this point we've
I
gotten
hate it.
supremely off topic. Did anyone
Yeah, oh yeah, we have.
did
finished the
anyone have
chapter
more
and
questions about the chapter?
Yeah.
X reader. No, I can't do the
Terror
X reader
number
ones.
6. No, yeah, X readers are something else. It's funny because I used to read those when I was like 12 or 13, but now I just look back and I'm like so cringe. God damn
I
it.
can't handle any of
I
those.
hate it so much. I used to Tsukasa not to go valid.
All right, no one has any other questions? I'm not saying anything yet.
I guess
I'm just
not,
giving people
yeah.
a minute. No, it's really just devolved into like fan fiction right now. The chat, that's what's going on. Fan
Ships and
fiction.
fan fiction.
Okay.
I appreciate it though.
Predictions for the next chapter.
Well,
This is
I
almost too
think it's pretty
easy. It's
obvious.
gonna be part 2
Yeah.
of this flashback.
And we're gonna get more into number 6 and Sumire's relationship and past.
Yeah, I think it would be really cool if the next chapter ended with Sumire, like present Sumire, showing up onto the scene.
Showing up. That'd be so cool.
Like,
You know
right
what?
at the
I'm predicting
end.
That just because
I'm
I
writing
want
that down. I have officially made
I'm
this
manifesting
prediction.
It. Yes. We should manifest it.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I really want to see Sumire again. I love her.
I mean, Hanako and Nene are still out of the picture. I don't know when they're coming back.
Yeah, they're not coming back next chapter for sure.
I'm
I
not
don't
expecting
think.
them next chapter. No.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be kind of cool for Hanako to burst onto the scene and try and like protect Aoi. Like that would be an interesting
Yeah.
kind of turn of events.
Oh, that would be.
But I'm not
I just don't
expecting
see it
it.
happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't expect that. Anyone else got predictions for the next chapter? All I can hope is that they don't use more flowers in the next chapter.
Number 6, this isn't you.
Look at me. Actually, I think Sumire would go onto the scene and be like, yep, this is what I was expecting.
Yeah, just about. It's like, yep, that's my husband.
I am not surprised. Sumire won't be surprised by anything that's going on, I think.
No.
Although she did
I
have
mean,
that talk with Nene about her relationship with number 6 being unhealthy.
Yeah.
She did kind of throw that at her, so maybe she'll say something I'm not
Is
expecting.
the one that refused to like see her for all this time that she's been his Yorishiro.
Yep.
So
we'll see what happens. I mean, like, Hanako tried real hard not to see his Yorishiro for a very long time. Maybe it's just
Go
a
find
thing.
Mitsuba.
When you end up with a person as your Yorishiro, you just don't want to look at them. It's awkward.
Oh yeah,
Awkward
true,
air.
Ko finds Mitsuba and goes ultimate beast mode and destroys number 6 because he beat up his gay husband.
Okay,
Prediction.
someone write that fan fiction. I am on board. This sounds fantastic. I'm gonna write that
Yes.
down as a good prediction for the next chapter. Just screenshot that one.
I guess a lot of people are waiting for Mitsuba to come back, and well,
It's been so
I don't see
long.
that happening anytime soon either. So
Someone write the key X readers.
no, you said it. You said the word.
Yeah, but it was
Yes.
such a funny comment. I
Stops
could
the
not read it out.
and saves everyone. Yes.
Yes.
Make Tiara important.
Tiara becomes the Deus ex machina of
Tiara
this
comes
story.
and saves the day.
Drops in, save everyone. Plot twist: Sumire
Sumire
shows up with
shows up with-
Mitsuba. They become best friends. They became best friends while sitting on the train to the far shore. Yes. There's another fan fiction. My gosh, this has been a good podcast
Yeah,
for
just
fan fiction
any way,
ideas.
any way to throw in Mitsuba, just do it.
Exactly. You
Get him
gotta
in
do
there.
it.
We miss him.
Sumire walks off
And
the stop train and sees number 6. Yashido's parents come to the far shore and finally ask her what she's doing after school.
What's she been doing all this time?
Can you imagine this showing up? They're like, oh, hey, by the way, we're part
There's,
supernatural. It was in your blood the whole time.
yeah, because there's been like multiple times where she's just stayed at school overnight, just casually. She's like, how'd you explain that to her parents?
I mean, has she, though? I'm trying to think back.
Yeah, she has.
I think the only
She
time was a school sleepover.
Misaki Stairs.
Was that overnight? I thought
When
that was just late.
it was nighttime when they got out. It was and the moon was like all the way up in the sky.
That's
so
true.
It was really late.
So that was late, but I'm not
It was
sure it's happened
essentially
other than
overnight.
that.
I don't know. I'm
Only with the
pretty
school
sure.
sleepover arc, and obviously that was okay because
Yeah,
that
but
was
I mean,
the
it
point.
definitely did happen though. It did happen.
It did
Where she
happen
stayed
once.
super late, very very late. So yeah, suspicious.
The elders come and scold Akane when he's in a boss fight. That would be
Well,
number 1 return. Yeah, that'd be funny.
we did see assumedly Yashiro's mom in the one chapter. What was it? What chapter was it? I forgot.
The one where
72?
right after
72?
the severance, when everyone was still in
Yeah,
a daze.
72.
Yeah, that one.
72. Yeah, we saw her briefly, but like not much of her.
Confirming that they do exist. So there's that. That was nice. All right,
Yes.
I think that
Her little
basically
panel.
wraps things up, unless people have
No, not her face. Not her face, just like part of her face, but not the whole thing.
unless people
I'm
have
sending
more
the page right
more
now.
questions for us. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is. All right, so I think we're going to wrap up for this particular podcast. Came a little bit shorter than
The
usual,
balls are
but we
fine.
still hung out for an hour, so that's pretty good, even without
Yeah,
Caffi.
Caffi never showed up once.
Caffi never showed up. I'm going to give her heck for it next time she's online. So maybe her internet just didn't work today for whatever
Yeah,
reason.
maybe. I hope that's what it was. That she
I hope that's what it was. I'll hunt her down somehow.
Yeah.
So thanks everybody for joining us today. Next chapter is again usual time on the 18th, which means be here on the 17th, and the raws will be up as soon as we can.
Yes.
We've got a great system for getting those raws up very fast. It's been working out
Yeah,
for
we
months
do.
and months now, so that's great.
Yeah, whenever the raws get dropped as a Google Drive, they'll be pinned in spoilers as the top pin.
Yeah. So look forward to that, and we will be back here to talk about it. Hopefully, all 3 of us again next time.
Yes, hopefully Caffi will show up.
Thank you guys. Goodbye.
Bye. Bye, everyone.